Yes. Hello, 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 hello. This is your girl, Charlene Clark Cure, and of course, you're at the right place. You're right here with me. Nightcap program. We are back. Guys, we are back. It's been too long. How long has it been? Perhaps a year? I've been off a year. But I can tell you, I've been off a year because I've been doing a number of things and improving my craft. I wrote a book, and the book is now published. It's called The Five Organizational Sins. It's available on Amazon, The Five Organizational Sins. I'll talk some more about this book, not today, but I'll talk some more about this book from time to time to introduce it to you properly so you can understand the value of this book. So that's the five organizational sins, building successful organizations for employees and employers. It's now available on Amazon. So I've been doing that. I've been doing a number of other things, preparing myself for my show, the return of my show. Thank you so very much for calling those persons. Even last eve or 2 days ago, someone called and asked about the show. So the show is back, and I want you to rest assured that we will be having some very riveting discussion this time around. And of course, if you have a story that you'd want to share, if you have a story that you believe will motivate and inspire the audience, my audience, please connect with me and let us make it happen. Welcome to the Nightcap program again with your host, none other than Charlene Clark Cure. Now, what am I going to be talking about today, this evening with you? Well, let me start here. Our schools, well, our community, our homes, our schools, our churches, are all responsible for the holistic development of our children. And we have been looking at what is causing this breakdown in value, morals, and attitude among our young ones. And from time to time, we tend to cover the mirror and look at other things that we believe is impacting the breakdown in values and morals. So we cover the mirror and we perhaps look at music, we perhaps look at movies, we perhaps look at, the community, we perhaps look at, the newness of technology. Yes, that's something that quite a number of us have been talking about, the advancement of technology. So we look at the peripherals. We are so zoomed in on the peripherals, not realizing that sometimes if we remove the cover from the mirror, we will arrive at our answer. And this is what I want to talk with you about. Of course, remember that you have the chat box. If you have anything to share, please drop it in the chat box and let us have this discussion. From time to time, our schools will have varying functions, activities for our children. Sometimes they'll have ice cream day. Sometimes they'll have science day where they ask the children to dress up as something, some character. Yeah, I'm pulling things on my hat here. Sometimes they'll have you pizza day, whatever it is. Sometimes they use it as a fundraising activity. Sometimes it's just to have these children let their hair down. But our schools, our teachers, they complain. Well, let me not use the word complain, but they have concerns about how our children are behaving at school. And many of them whom I've had discussions with, of course, they would suggest that sometimes they're not coming from a good home where the mother or the father or both parents are not integral in the child's life, or making that effort to ensure that the child is being properly grown. Oftentimes they state that the children have too much access to adult type music and videos. They have too much access. And so, because they are vulnerable, they don't understand the premise of these adult type content that they are viewing, you know, and so it also impact on their behavior, that they display within their environment. But let me evaluate that last point. So remember that schools, they have varying activities, whether it is for a fundraising purpose or just to have the children enjoy a day of relaxation, which is good. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Equally, all play and no work will make him a dull boy as well. So, which is good. But I remember a school had this was a fundraising activity, I believe, and they dubbed it drip. And drip is the word drip is from a particular song. While I enjoy music, all genre of music I will listen to, but I have my favorite genre. Of course, I'm from Jamaica, so reggae is gonna be in the top five, right? And so they dubbed it drip, and the children were all excited, right? So, but sometimes I really don't know the songs until there is an event or an activity and I want to hear what the song is about. So of course, if if my child comes home and say to me, well, then there is a fundraising activity and we're supposed to dress up, and this is the title, or what should I say? Well, let's call it title, right? So if he comes home and he said that, mom, drip, or activity fundraising activity is titled drip. So we're supposed to dress a particular way and all these type of things. And I'm going to ask questions. I'm not too old, but of course, like I said, I'm not too au fait with most of the new, songs, be it reggae, R&B, or whatnot, because I'm an old soul. So he would keep me up to date, and I'm glad for that, because now I know the new songs, I know some dances or whatnot. He keeps me up to date. And then, of course, I'm going to research the song. And of course, I'm going to listen it intently from start to end repeatedly. By the time I'm done listening the song, I could just sing it, without having to write a word down. So after listening to it 3 times, I'm able to sing the song because that's how intent I am. So I'm going to listen to the song intently because I want to hear what it is about. And so there was a school that I just use that as an example. I'm not saying that was the title, or I'm just using it as an example, and no free promotion for the song here. But hey, we do that sometimes. So there's a school that had a fundraising activity, and they dubbed their activity a particular title of a song. And when I listened to the song from beginning to end repeatedly, how I knew of it, because a parent shared the information with me, and she was like, "Can you believe this? Can you believe this?" I'm like, "Believe what?" The school is having an activity, and the song that they, I'm like, "So what is wrong with the song?" She said, "Listen, go and listen to the song, Charlene. Go and listen to the song. I can't with you. Go and listen to the song, and let's come back and have the discussion." And so I did. Because I really didn't know the song. Most times I'll know the chorus of the song because the chorus is what is the catchy part of the song. And it is so for most of us. We know the chorus of the song, but we really don't know what the song is about. So if there is a catchy chorus, we'll sing and dance to it until we recognize what the song is about, if we really sit and listen to the entire lyrics. And so she said, well, of course, I was familiar with the chorus of the song, but I didn't really know, the lyrics, the verse, yes, the verses, yes. All I knew was the chorus. Well, well, all I was familiar with. I didn't know the chorus, word for word, until I went and I researched the song that she had a concern about, and was like, hmm. So this school is having a fundraising activity, and they want the children to dress up and come ready to, unwind and just relax for the day, which is good for our children. But the song that they're using as the main introduction, so to speak, for the activity wasn't child proof. It was PG 45 and over. The lyrics of the song. Quite frankly, I like the song. It had a good, melody and lyrics behind it, and all those good things working for it, but it's adult type song. But the kids know them. They know them. They know them better than you and I. And so she was concerned, and we had the discussion, but the discussion took a different. It was it was it my concern was not about the song, because I had to change the narrative, so to speak. My concern wasn't about the song. My concern, or well, my take from her concern was really the hypocrisy, not the song, the hypocrisy. And remember how I started. Our teachers are having a challenge, or they're having grave concerns about how our children are behaving in schools. And one of the reason, or one of the mitigating factor that they identified, was that the children have access to too many different types of adult content. And so, if that is your concern, then how is it that the school is having a fundraising activity, and then they're using the same type of adult type content as the backdrop of the activity? So my discussion with her took a different turn, because I think deep. I really don't look at the surface or look on the surface of things. I go deeper than the surface because so many times the surface is as a result of the ingredient. If you eat the cake and the cake is too sweet or too salt, can the cake be too salty? I'm not sure. But if you consume the cake and it's too sweet, the problem would be in the ingredients. So I do not look at the surface of things. I look at what is really behind the scene that caused what we are now seeing. So it's the hypocrisy that piqued my attention because I'm saying these are the same teachers and principals and administrative staff members who carry on about the children, the way they dress, the way they dance, the way they. And there is an activity that is dubbed a particular title of a song that is that is very adult type content. And that is a concern of our society. We say things when it suits us. You know, it's like do as I say, but not as I do. We say things when it suits us, but we are not serious about fixing the wrongs. Or can you right the wrongs? I'm not sure if you can right the wrongs. People say right the wrongs, but we are not too keen on that. And you want to know why? It's all about the hype and the glim and the glitter and the glamour. Because if you dub a fundraising activity with a song that is not creating the hype, then it's not going to be an activity that the children will gravitate to. And you want the children to gravitate and come with their little monies to participate in the fundraising activity. But I'm saying if that is the case, stop complaining about these artistic content. Mind you, it might be adult type, but it's still artistic. And if it is that you're going to use these content tomorrow, when a child is rude, when a child is behaving in a particular manner, do not blame it on the content because you yourself, as teachers, as principals, as those individuals who are key as well, you're key in ensuring the proper conduct of our children because they spend what? Probably 6, 7 hours with you. Do not blame it on our music. Do not blame it on, the technology, the advancement of technology. Do not blame it on movies because you are, and remember, I said many times we cover our mirrors because we don't want to really get to the root of the problem. And if we unveil the mirror, then we recognize the root of the problem, and the root of the problem is us as adults. When we forget what we are about because of the hype, we become the root of the problem. We are the root of the problem. I've heard many parents, adults, speak about, oh, you know, or adults are now wearing their PJs to the supermarket. You know, you see them in their bed slippers and their bonnets, their bonnet. The females are in the bonnet, you know. And they take the children to the supermarket in their PJs and bonnets, and nobody is interested in preparing an or presentation of self in the public sphere. Anything goes. And then there is a fundraising activity at school that is called pajama. And this is a true story because I've seen it, PJ Day, where the children are required to wear their PJs to school. Make it make sense for me. Make it make sense. Because if my child comes home and tell me that, Mom, there's a PJ day at school, and that's the activity, and we're going to wear PJs to school. He's not. I'm not going to let him wear PJ to school. Mm-mm. He's not going to wear his pajamas to school. He's going to wear his uniform, or perhaps not to let him feel, I'll let him wear something up besides PJs. So we are talking about how people display themselves in the public sphere. They're not making that concerted effort to look professional in the professional sphere, or to separate certain things, and then we are including it. So we are training the children, so that child now becomes an adult and now feels it's okay to wear his PJ or her PJ to the supermarket. The same things that we complain about, make it make sense. So you see the hypocrisy of it all. We need to be transparent. We need to be transparent. And I can understand that it's hard to be transparent, because when you are so transparent, you are bullied, you are classed, you are seen as the anomaly. But it's okay to be seen as the anomaly as long as you're standing up for what you believe in, and it's for the greater good of the society. But you cannot talk about the greater good of the society and inculcating the greater bad to further destroy the youths of tomorrow. You see, if we were okay with all these things, I mean, it's okay by you. It's okay. But we cannot say, well, then these are the things that are causing our children to behave and to interact in a particular way and to dress a particular way, when we ourselves are enablers. Because when you have these activity and you dub them using these songs that you deem to be satanic, or you ask them to dress a particular way, and then you have problems when you go in the public sphere and see adult dressing that way, you're being hypocrites. Think about it. You're being hypocrites. And so this is my share with you this evening. Let us be transparent. Let us be true about what we believe in, and implement it, cause it what it may. Cause it what it may. If we are going to do these things, and let's say, raise the child the right and proper way. So what do you do as teachers, as administrative team members, staff members, as principals, as vice principals, as dean of discipline? What do you do when tomorrow the child come to school, and during lunchtime they have a little group and they're singing these songs? What do you do? Do you reprimand them? Do you pull them aside and say, hey, hey, hey? Do you do that? Because if you do, if I was that child, I would be confused, very confused, because just the day before, that was the dub, that was the title of our event. And today you're telling me that I can't vibe to this song during my lunch period, when yesterday I gave you $2 as a part of the fundraising activity to for whatever cause. And this was the title of the fundraising activity. I am confused. You're confusing our children. Your children, because they're yours as well. They're yours for 6 or 7 hours, or however long, 5 hours of the day when you have them. Let us be transparent. The hypocrisy it's not the songs, it's not the movies, it's not the advancement of technology. It's the hypocrisy that is killing the society. The hypocrisy of it all. We say things because it sounds good. We say things because it's easy to be said. We say things because we like to point fingers. We say things because we keep our mirrors covered. But when it's time to show, to act, or to implement, we do otherwise. So think about it a little bit. The hypocrisy of it all, that is what is killing the society, killing our children. And our children are grossly confused. Grossly confused. We have to be serious about, if we have to, like I said, this is just my opinion, it's opinionated. You have your opinion, I have mine. And that is why we have the chat box. You can share your opinion. I hope teachers and principals are here online and listening. And if they are not, those who are here, please share it with a teacher, share it with a principal. Maybe they will understand what is the root of the problem. We are the root of the problem, cause of the problem. We are. Because we're telling our children one thing and we are behaving differently. And let me ask you, do you think they don't know? Do you believe that our children are not observing? They are. They are smart, my voice. They are very smart. They are observing. They understand what is happening. And so that is why sometimes they will challenge you. You will say, well, then a child is disobedient and rude and disrespectful. No, that's not it. They are challenging you based on what you display. So they challenge you based on what you display. Of course, of course, of course. You do have some who are rude and disrespectful. But most of the times, and like I said, it's my opinion, they are going to challenge you based on what you display. So you display an act of rudeness and disrespect, and you want to correct the child is going to challenge you because that is what you display to the child. Think about it a little bit, or as long as you want to think about it. We have to be serious about what we believe in. If we believe in what is happening in terms of, you know, adult type content being available to our children, then that's what we believe in. But we can't say we don't believe in it and then we are sharing it with our children. We are using it to our benefit. When it benefits us, it's okay. So we need that fundraising activity to be successful. Let's look for that catchy song that will excite the children and use that. And then the very next day, we're going to complain about the artists and the artistic content of the song because each song, video, content, they do have their own meaning, right? And of course, it is our responsibility to dissect and to ensure that whatever it is that our children have access to, we are monitoring. But we cannot blame the artist, or we cannot blame the content creator, the creatives, and say, well, then you should not create that. That's what they want to create. But for us, it's our responsibility to train the child a particular way to begin with and to monitor what they're accessing. No, as parents, just imagine you're monitoring what your child have access to, and you are trying to train up your child a particular way to understand that not all content is relevant for their age. And then when you send your child to school, or your child comes home and give you a piece of paper to say that tomorrow we will be having a fundraising activity titled such and such, this school, what would you do? What would you do? And it's the same school that will call you in a meeting and say to you, your child is not performing well, your child is not behaving well, your child is maladaptive. And then they will engage you in a discussion to say, listen, maybe it's the content that the child is listening to, maybe they will engage you like that, forgetting that they too are playing a part in the advancement of the child's breakdown in morals and values. So let us be transparent. Let us be transparent, because there is a saying, what is in the dark shall come to light. How does it apply here? Sometimes us as adults, we will scoff at certain content, but in the confines of our home, we are dancing to it, gyrating to it, enjoying it. My child knows what I like. Yes, he knows that I'm an old soul, but he knows that I will sit and listen to a song that is deemed, um, that is classed. He knows that I'll sit and listen to the song. As a matter of fact, he knows that I can sing the words of the song after listening to it 3 times. He knows I'll listen to it, and he knows the reason behind it. And he also knows that I will say to him, listen, I like the song. However, it is not for you. It is for adults. It is not for you, but I like the song. A song talking about certain things doesn't necessarily mean that the song is bad. It means that this is a song that must be appreciated by adults for its artistic value. What is good or bad? Tell me what is good or bad. No, no. If you are going to label the song bad, but then in the confines of your home, because that's where your children live, they see you because they observe dancing or nodding, you're confusing them. And so that is what I meant when I say, what's in the dark shall come to the light. Because sometimes, because we want to, portray, an image. It's just an image. You have some persons who love to talk about, oh, it's the image, it's the image, it's tongue twister here. It's the image, it's the image. It's not the image. It's you. It's your beliefs. It's your morals. It's your values. It's not the image. It's not the image, because the image can be a false image based on what you want to portray to the society, to the wider atmosphere, to the wider environment. But when when it is grounded in your values and morals, based on what you learn, based on what those are, then the image will display just that. And so, if you are not grounded in your beliefs, then it cannot be about the image. Are you agreeing with me? If you're not agreeing, that's fine. Like I said, share your thoughts, share your views, and let us talk a little bit about it. Yes. So let us together look at what really is the root cause of why some of our children act out. And if we really look at what the root cause is, let us fix the root cause first before we begin to engage the children. So if you evaluate, and upon your conclusion, you recognize that, well, we have been doing it wrong. We have been doing it wrong. Do it right, and then address the child. But don't continue to do it wrong and try to fix the child and place them in the environment where, it's not conducive to what you are saying to the child, and expect the child to conform. No, Let's be transparent. So I'm going to encourage the school administrators to evaluate how we plan our activities. My child will not go to school in a PJ. So if we have PJ day, it's not for my child because that's not, tomorrow I'm not going to take him to the supermarket in his PJ. So why should I send him to school in his PJ? If there is an activity that does not align with the morals and values and standards of our home, then the child is not going to participate in that activity. So, school administrators, when you are creating, designing activities, planning activities for your school, because they're needed, they're needed. Makes this children, happy and, enjoy school some more. But when you are planning, designing, creating activities, think about these things and ensure that it represent the values and morals and standards that you are inculcating in our children. If it doesn't, go back to the drawing board and fix it. But do not present it to the children and then try to fix the children when they are displaying certain behavioral pattern. It does not work like that. It does not work like that. Do not present it to the children, then call the parents to the school to discuss the child's maladaptive behavior. It doesn't work like that. Because when you do it that way, you become an enabler. So, those are my thoughts. Let me hear yours. Let us have a discussion. Well, we'll have a discussion during the airing of this message, if you want to call it a message. Since I'm not live today, but I'll be online to, reply to your questions and have that discussion together to see if we can understand what, we need to do. Like I said, if that is what we are okay with, then we're okay with it. We are okay with it. But don't pretend as though you're not okay with it when you are sharing it. No, no, we're confusing our children. Let us be transparent. Let us be transparent together and let us try to raise the children the way we want to raise them in a society where, they are battling with choosing right from wrong. Because as much as you would, raise your child at home, teach them the right things, when they leave the confines of the home, then they are placed in a precarious situation because they know will have to go back on what? On the teachings at home to survive. And sometimes they're not that strong. Remember, they're children, they're still growing, they're vulnerable. So it's our duty to ensure that we do what we need to do in the right and proper way. If we're going to dance to these songs, explain it to the child, say, well, then listen, it's adult content. I am not going to talk ill about the songs because it suits me or it suits the society. I'm not going to talk about the ill about these songs. What I'm going to say to you is, I like the song, but it's not for you. It's adult content. So even if you see mom shaking her head, to a verse, it's because it's for mom. Mom is an adult, but it's not for you. And don't play it in the homes. Don't play it in the homes. Don't play it in the homes if you don't want the child to, display that attitude. But here's a flip to it. And I'm going to use my child as an example. Here's a flip to it. You see, when you are transparent, You can play the song in the home and it doesn't affect the child. And here's the flip. My son is very big on um well, I wouldn't say very big. He's getting there. He's on YouTube. Um, oh my Lord, oh my Jesus. He does Roblox, that's how you call it. I'm sorry if I don't get it right. Edits, right? So he does Roblox edits. And I challenged him one evening to do an edit to a reggae song, but just the chorus of the reggae song. Because I like it. I really do like the song, and he knows that I like it. So I said to him, "You've never done a Roblox edit to a reggae, and you're Jamaican. I mean, you're Jamaican, you're not living in Jamaica, but you're Jamaican. So I am challenging you to do a Roblox edit using a Jamaican song." And I gave him the song and I said to him, "Listen, use just the chorus of the song." When I told him the song, his eyes popped out. He was like, Mom, but that song is not for children, because he knows. So I didn't tell him that the song is bad and it's going to make him a killer or, disrespectful to women. That song is going to. No, I didn't tell him that. What I said to him, these songs are adult type content. They are not for you. They're adult type content. So when he hears them, he's not thinking, "Oh my God, I got to cover my ears because I'm going to be terrible if I listen to this song." No. When he hears them, he knows that, listen, I need not to sing this song because it's adult type content. So he said to me, "But Mom, what do you think Dad is going to say?" I said to him, "Listen, he's not going to say anything, right? Just let him know that Mom challenged you. She gave you the chorus, and this is the song that you're going to use for your Roblox." He did it, and he got a lot of views on it, because most of his subscribers are, they're really not they're not familiar with Jamaican music, and so they liked it. They liked it, and he did it and he was okay. The next day he wasn't singing the song. The next day he wasn't behaving terrible because he knew the song. No. So it's what we train our children, how we train our children. So I do not have conversation on the basis that, listen, if you watch this movie, you're gonna become a psychopath. No. I have the conversation based on the nature of the content, because I respect the creatives, and people are artistic and display what they want to display in their content. No, it's for me to explain to the younger generation that, listen, this content was not created for your age group. And I'm not going to scoff at it and behave like, oh, I don't like it. If I really don't like a content, that's different. But I'm not going to scoff at it and say, well, then I don't like it. And because I don't want the child to listen to it. No, I will tell him, I do like this song. I like it. But it's not your content. It's not for you. So do not sing it. Do not dance to it. And if you hear it, know that it's not your content. And if we do that, we have better children, because when you hide things from them, they become, it's like when you hide things from them, they want to, I don't want to say they become rebellious, but they become very inquisitive. They want to find out, why is Mom hiding this? Why is Dad hiding this? What is it about it? When you share with them the reason behind your decision, then they understand in a better way. And when you become hypocrites, they're going to be rebellious. That's when they become rebellious, when you become hypocrites, when you are hypocritical, right? So I think I believe I've said quite a lot for you to think about. Let us have our discussion in the chat. You know, my camera is there, my laptop is here, so sometimes I glance down. So let us have that kind of discussion. Let us talk about it a little bit. Let us dissect it, and if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. And if it makes sense, well, then let us do what we need to do. But let us stop confusing our children, and let us stop being hypocritical. Let us begin to be transparent. Transparency is key. Transparency is key. The key that will help us to unlock the true potential of our children in a holistic way. But when we are hypocrites, they are observing, and they are going to be rebellious, and they are going to question everything you say and do. And why is mommy doing this? Why is daddy doing this? Why you do it and I can't do it? Because the conversation that you're having with the children is wrong. Because the symbolic conversation you're having with the child is wrong. So I share my opinion with you, you share yours with me, and let us talk a little bit more about it, right? So this was the first return of the Nightcap show. And I do hope you enjoyed, the short discussion. And we're back this and every Sunday at 6 p.m. If you have a story to share, let's share it. And let's connect with me. You may connect with me. Remember, you can also go on my webpage, designedtoinspire.com. And there you can have access to all my services. If you need any of them, of course, you can reach out to me. And my book is now also available on Amazon. It's called The 5 Organizational Sins. No, it's called The 5 Organizational Sins, but it's a book that it's not just for organizations. Yes. I mean, if you're a pastor, if you're a mother, if you're a father, if you are, a financial consultant, this book is applicable. It's very versatile. So you can check it out. It's available on Amazon. And like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about it. Today's return was not about my book. Today's return was to have that kind of discussion about our children, because oftentimes we talk about the future, and if the present will determine the future, then we have to focus on the present. Yes, we have to focus on the present time. So the present time will determine the future. So let us put our energies here now so that the future will look a little bit brighter. This has been Nightcap program with your girl, Charlene Clark. Listen, stay motivated, stay inspired, and let us do the right all the time.